Okay, so let's begin now with a little meditation. So just sit comfortably. You can focus on the point in front. And we actually practice meditation with eyes open. And the reason for that is because we live our life with eyes open. And so we have to be able to see and be aware, but yet be detached. And so this is what we are learning. To see, but not to see. So just focus on the point in front. And this is an image of I, the soul. So if you were to look into the mirror, this is not what you would see, but this is who you are. So just quietly to yourself inside, you say to yourself, I am a peaceful soul. And as you have that thought, I want you to see that thought going through the body. So that peace is being carried throughout your body, calming your whole nervous system. Calming every organ of the body. So in your mind, just walk through your body from the head, the neck, the arms, the back, the lower back, the thighs, the legs, ankle, toes. Just run the light through your body. And if you're holding on to any tension in the neck, in the arms, in the legs, in the face, on the forehead, just let it go. Right now we are in a very safe space. There's nothing I need to be afraid of. Again, once again, I remind myself that I am a pure, peaceful being. And I just sit in that experience of deep peace. Being at peace is also about being in the moment. So just try to be in this now moment. There's nowhere else I want to be except right here, right now. So your full attention, Pura Dhyan, is on this moment. Just feeling the moment, just being in this room, being comfortable in my chair. Being immersed in this meditation. And now as you look at that picture in front of you, that picture is of the Supreme. God, who is my mother, who's my father. And I'm feeling the rays of God's love and light. And this light is just washing over me, removing all my burdens, making me light and free. I, the soul, in front of the Supreme Soul, just soul to soul. There's nothing and no one between us. And it's like I have come back to my home, back to my family, back to my parents. Now we come back to the awareness of this room, back to the session, back to myself. Om Shanti. So now we move into the second part, and this is more about helping you to manage situations, as I said, when the tough get going. So let's start with the basic, which is breathing. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but it's something called box breathing. So you start at the top. Here. Okay. You start at the top. So you inhale for 4 seconds. So you inhale, right? And then you hold for 4 seconds. And then you exhale for 4 seconds. And you hold that exhale for 4 seconds. And what this does, it calms the nervous system. Very simple thing, but like we were doing now in a sense, when we go quiet, when we try to just manage our thoughts, think of calm, peaceful things, we are calming ourselves down. Okay? So do you want to try that now? Yeah? So when I say go, you inhale and we'll count to 4. Okay? Ready, steady, go. Sorry. I can't do both things. Okay, we inhale and then we hold and then we exhale. Okay, so again, inhale. When I say go, we inhale. Go. Exhale. Hold it. So when you exhale, just don't breathe in again quickly. You holding that exhale. Okay, just once more. So when I say go, exhale. You feel a difference? Yeah? So it's as simple as that. Just calming yourself down. Because what's the first thing that happens when we get an adrenaline rush? Is our breathing starts going fast, doesn't it? And then we panic, and then we make mistakes, and our decision making goes skewy, and yeah, okay. Okay, so daily self check. So as I told you, why don't you try and practice this? Because it taught me a lot, really, when I check my emotion. So what am I feeling right now? It just takes 5 minutes, right? That's what I'm trying to say here, that it doesn't take long. But if you want to write it down, it can take less than that. But if you want to write it down, then it might take 5 minutes. So yeah, just from time to time, even when, something happens, first go inside. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? And try to be zooming into the feeling. Not just I'm feeling good, I'm feeling bad. No, try to be more detailed, descriptive. And I have it, but on the net also there is a list of feelings that you can look at, right? There's about at least 100 feelings. So if you want to zoom in on a particular feeling, then look at that list. Because again, if you know what you're feeling, you know where you're headed. Right? If you don't know what you're feeling, you don't know what's happening and what's going to be the natija, right? The outcome. Okay, yeah. So why am I feeling this way? And then what do I need to do? So of course, if it's not a good feeling, I need to check. How can I turn this around? And what can I do differently? Or why is it bothering me? And there's something else in the world which is called inner child work. Inner child work. And it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not easy. So sometimes things happen to us in our childhood, but they got frozen. Like let's say you tried something and your parent or senior or adult or teacher, somebody said, what do you think you're doing? Or that's silly, or that's stupid, or you can't do that, right? Ek baat, just one small thing, but it hurt us so much that हमने वो पकड़ के रखा, and as I said, it froze in us. So when that thing comes up again, or any inkling of something similar where I feel somebody's judging me, or they're not valuing me, or they're questioning me, I get that same reaction in the feeling inside. So anyway, that's more deep work for those who want to do it, but it's good to clear that slate, because that happened how many years ago? How old are we, That happened 40, 50, 60 years ago, but I'm still holding on to it. And it's not allowing me to be me. That's not me. That's my child, me. And so there are ways of dealing with it, talking to it, saying, okay, I'm here now to look after you. It's okay, I'm more experienced. I know what I'm doing now. I'll take care of you. There are ways of dealing with the inner child. Okay, so that's another whole area of actually the feeling, the emotion. Yes, so I did say, like, emotion, it's more reactive. Okay, and mostly it's a kind of trigger, it's a reaction to a trigger. Whereas feeling is more a state of being. Okay, so feeling is what I need to be in, not emotion. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, like, feel the feeling. Sit with that. Okay, this is another whole very interesting area, which is the power of gratitude. And it's something so simple, but lately I found out that actually it changes neural patterns in your soul, not just in your brain. So there's a Harvard Medical School study, and the study published found that people who wrote about things they were grateful for once a week, right? Only once a week for 10 weeks. So one evening you write down all the things you're grateful for 10 weeks. They felt more optimistic, they felt better about their lives, and reported fewer physical complaints compared to those who wrote about irritations and problems. So again, this is a very empowering technique. Now, you have this concept of the glass half full. Yeah, see the glass half full. But you can extend that theory. It's not just the glass is half full or it's full, but you know what? You can go get another glass. So in other words, you're not restricted to that in your life. Okay, so abundance thinking is more than just what's in front of you. So why I'm saying that is, be grateful for all the things that you have in your life. Now, I saw something, a little Instagram clip of I forget his name, he should be credited for this, but I don't remember. But anyway, he was telling this story. He said, he said to people on the radio, he said, if I tell you I'm going to give you £1 million, do you want it? And this couple said, yeah. He said, 2 million? They said, of course. 3 million? Yeah. 5 million? They said, of course. Like, anything is good, right? He said, but what if I tell you, you can have the 5 million, but you won't wake up tomorrow? What did they say? What would you say? Okay, you don't want it. So what are you saying? That just waking up tomorrow is worth more than 5 million. Aren't you? That's what we're saying. In fact, it's priceless. Isn't it? So this is the point. What am I grateful for? And it could be even a simple thing like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. But I think I am, but but every little thing, because this, okay, so let me move on. It's very interesting, this. So here's another study by Dr. Robert Emmons, and again, University of California, Davis study. So Dr. Emmons is considered the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. And his studies show that participants who practice gratitude for just 3 weeks experienced 25% improvement in happiness, better and longer sleep quality, a decrease in anxiety and depression, stronger immune system, lowered blood pressure, and deeper and more satisfying relationships. And I'm sure other things as well, right? Everything going in the right direction. And what are we doing? Just being grateful. And when we're grateful, what's happening? Really, when I found this out, I've been doing it ever since, actually, just a few months ago. So, gratitude literally changes the structure and functioning of the brain. When we practice gratitude consistently, the brain forms new neural pathways that make it easier to see positivity, blessings, and possibilities. So every time we focus on gratitude, we activate the prefrontal cortex here, which is the area responsible for decision making, emotional regulation, and positive thinking. Gratitude also releases dopamine and serotonin, the feel-good hormones, and the same chemicals that antidepressants try to boost. And then over time, this builds a habitual pathway. So the brain becomes trained to look for what's right instead of what's wrong. Isn't that amazing? Like once you start on that pattern of thinking and looking for positive things, then you literally do look for them and you find them. And then you feel good because you found something good. Got it? And so that makes you feel good. Okay? Make sense? So you're going to do it? Tell me some things you're grateful for now. Being here. Okay, what else? Being cool and calm.
Like what you mentioned, one of your friends, she was from Syria, so we are so thankful we are here in India, not in Syria.
Yeah. We're so grateful we're in Bharat, not in Syria, Kuwait. We're in our own land. Uh-huh. Somebody said something here? Alive and kicking. Getting good air and water. Food. Grateful for my body. It's cooperating with me. Yeah. Being able to understand. Having had a good education. Grateful for? Okay. Okay, grateful to IT corporates for sending you here. Good. Learning something new. Grateful for family, friends, love, blessings, right? Good. Grateful to the problems because they push us forward, they make us grow and learn. Good. Grateful for difficult people because they make us strong. Yeah. Good. Well, it's endless, right? So that's what I'm saying. Once you start writing, and then you realize, wow, there's so much to be grateful for. And maybe one thing that's not going well, but the rest is going well, right? So put things in balance.
Do we expect different points in every week to write same?
Yeah. So brother's asking, are we supposed to write different points or the same ones? No, you get bored if you say, oh, I love my life, I love my life, I love my life, yeah, so you have to dig deep and find something else that you're grateful for. And yeah, so why don't you say, look for 5 things every day? How about that? And it could, as we said, be anything, even the plate in front of you. right? They were, when I did a gratitude talk, so I was talking, there were lots of stories I was sharing. So, somebody says, oh, look, this, this food's got salt in it. So the monk says, be grateful, you have a plate, you have food, it's hot food, it's made for you. That's already 5 things. That it's ready made, it's there for me. So why are you complaining about the salt then? Yeah, anytime you go to a complaint, anyway, we're coming to that. I think there's another slide, which is flip the script. I'll talk then. So, remember purpose, I mentioned earlier. So, it's so important to find your purpose, really. So, I did this work when I was about 16, 17. And so basically it was a book I went through, and then it kind of narrows you down to a few words, and then you have to pick one word. And funnily, at that age, 17, 18, something like that, I came to the word that my purpose is to share. And I had no idea that my life would be this. So I share what I have, I share the knowledge that I have, and so sharing becomes your purpose. Do you see? So you find your one word or one thing that you want to do more of. And so this is the point, right? Write down why you keep going. For example, I would say I love myself too much not to keep going. Like you love yourself too much to maybe get into conflict or to hate someone or to do it for you. You love yourself a lot, and that's why you would not put yourself through that. Find a reason. Okay? It's not avoidance, it's sensible, you're proactive. You understand? You're not denying yourself or fooling yourself. Or I believe in growth and progress. That's why I would keep going or keep my purpose in front of me. Or, I want to see the joy in others. That's why I give. Right? So remember the why. Okay? This is the one. Reframing negative thoughts. Sorry, I'm not able to see it's reflecting. So what I mean here is flip the script. Okay, so let's say you have some complaint about something you don't like. So let's say I'm tired of my busy schedule. So how do you turn that around? You say, well, I'm grateful that I have meaningful work. So,
Basically, the purpose which you are going for, it will pose you some kind of stressful situations. You have to identify the real purpose and just focus on it.
That's right. So, you're going to work, brother's saying, but then what's the real purpose behind that? And focus on that. So does anyone else have an example of this? Like there's a frustration or complaint, and then we're going to flip that around? Want to give me an example of a complaint? Does everybody earn enough? Do you earn enough money? You earn enough for your basic requirements. And what if you don't earn enough? What do you say to yourself? So then you say, okay, I'll be able to survive when I have less. Okay? How do you turn that script around? I can't hear you. An opportunity to do better. I'm managing with whatever I have. No. When problems are there, then what? Then we get a chance to be more problem solving. You need less so it becomes the same. Oh, slim. Okay. Yeah, you need less so you eat less so you become slim.
When you have less money, you just focus on learning this and less and exploring. So you sit in silence, you realize now you know how to utilize that, like with less money, how you
Yeah, it's like that expression, isn't it? What is it? Creativity is the mother of invention. Yeah.
so it could be as simple as, oh, I have to cook today, turn it into a positive thing that, okay, I am eating healthy today.
Okay, I have to cook today and turn that around and say, I'm going to eat healthy today. But back to this enough thing of money, I would say something like also, um, well, one is like this, I have enough for my needs, okay? And something like also, when I need more, it will come to me. I have no doubt about that, right? So don't worry about the money. Money is not the all and end of everything. At least I've got good people, good place, good atmosphere. So then you weigh these things up, right? Because money can't buy everything. Money can't buy respect. Money can't buy relationships. So can't buy peace.
Be grateful that you woke up in the morning.
Be grateful you woke up. Yeah, be grateful you got a job. Yeah. Okay, one more example. Anybody else? Any other example? So you don't have complaints, huh? You're good, huh?
Like traffic jam while traveling to office.
Yeah.
Traffic jam. So I think it's a time to pause for me.
Yeah, exactly. When there's traffic jam, you say, yeah, it's time to pause. In fact, somebody, when I was in Canada, there was a brother who had a long 1 hour drive from Vancouver to somewhere else, and he put in a really good sound system in his car. And he said, that's my 1 hour to listen to really nice music. I never forgot that. Yeah, so you make the most of it. You're alone with your nice music and, just, yeah, creates a good mood. Okay, good. You get the idea? Ji.
During the corona time, we were locked down in the houses.
Hmm.
We get a lot of time to spend with
Hmm. That's positive, yeah.
And sometimes letting out, like, I believe that we should be positive plus for sure, but sometimes letting out our emotions is also a nice thing, because we are letting it out and we are feeling lighter. At the same time, we are becoming more resilient, and I think that's
You're saying let out emotion. Okay, so my comment on that is let out your emotion, but in the right place. Like you have rubbish, but you don't throw it everywhere, right? You throw it in one place. So fine, you need to vent, you need to talk, find somebody sensible who you think could guide you. No point talking to 10 people. Yeah. And then it just spreads, and then, you get a bad rep. Just go to the right place. Come to the BK Center. Okay. Okay, resilience journal. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. So resilience journal is about, what's the one challenge I faced today, how I responded, what I learned, one thing I'm proud of. So this guy, this Dr. Kenneth Ginsburg, right? He's a pediatrician and child, teen and family advocate. So he's written this book on the 7 C's of resilience. So he's saying we need competence, confidence, connection, character, contribution, like be giving back to the society, coping skills, and control. If I'm to be resilient. So it's a bit, when I saw this, I feel it's a bit like our BK way, where you are doing seva and working with others, and it's like if you're a candle on your own, right? You think, oh, I'm lighting up this room. But then when there are others, they're also lighting up the room, right? So it's not just me. I can't take all the credit. Or when the sun comes out, it's even greater. So I give credit to God. So it's like that, right? All these qualities are in us, having yoga and dharana and seva and gyan, right? Control, self-control. So anyway, good to write. Anybody here keeps a diary? Yeah, few people. Good. Yeah. Yeah, so those who don't, try it. Try it for a week at least. And I know that some people tell me I don't write diaries because others will read it. And they're afraid what they might read. But, you shouldn't not do it because of that. Because again, you're not expressing, you're inhibiting yourself. And I feel when you express and put it out into the book, it's no longer there. It's not holding you back. And be ready to defend what you write. This is also an aspect of self-esteem. So what if somebody reads it? Just tell them, yeah, so. Firstly, they shouldn't be reading it. They're in the wrong. Okay? But if they do read it, say, yeah, this is me. Where's you? Show me yours. Okay? Yeah. So, no, because really, I have so many books up in my shelf, It's just good to write. Do you know about morning pages? So anyway, this is Julia Cameron. She's written the book, The Artist's Way. It's an old book. But she started talking about morning pages. And basically in the morning, first thing in the morning, or very first thing, is you just write away 3 A4 pages. And what's happening is you're dumping. You're dumping from the mind onto the paper. And just whatever, you're not thinking, whatever comes, you're just writing away and you put it away. You don't read it for 3 months. And this is the way, she's saying, to unleash your creativity. And there's been many examples of people who did that and then got on to being a pianist or an artist or something like that. So it does work, okay? So whatever, A4, A5 size, just write and turn the page or put the paper away, but just get it out. So writing is, good, important. Yeah, so this, right? Take action. There was a little plaque in our Kuwait center. Something like this, mountains were not climbed by just sitting down in one place, or something like that. Okay, so we can sit on our couch and have big dreams about doing this and that, but it's when we get off the couch that what are we going to do? So when I have a thought, I need to ensure that I've put it into practice. This is actually integrity. I'm being true to myself, right? So when I say to you, okay, I'm going to meet you at 12:30. If I say I'm going to meet you at 12:30 and I am there, I have kept my integrity. But if I just say to you I'm going to be there 12:30, knowing very well that I'm going to be late, and then I am late, then that's not good for me, that's not good for you. And then what happens over time? The relationship gets spoiled, I also lose respect, I lose self-confidence, self-respect, and you don't feel good. So you see what I mean about do what you're going to say, do and say what you're going to do and say. Because if you don't, then you're losing your honor. And again, that doesn't make you strong. Doesn't make you a strong personality. Think about it. These are subtle kind of spiritual laws, actually. When you say something, you do it. Okay? So break big problems into small steps. So if something looks big, then break it into kind of bite-sized pieces and then deal with it one at a time, one thing at a time, okay? And the other important thing, we're always waiting for that perfect moment, aren't we? Right? When does the diet start? Tomorrow. Because tomorrow is going to be better than today. Right? So we're always waiting for that better tomorrow. There's never going to be a perfect condition. So when is the time to start? Now. Now, right now. And so, you know what? I knew that the end of the year was coming. And so on 13th November, I decided to do some intermittent fasting. Because I don't like leaving something just till the end of the year, New Year, because they never last, right? Resolutions never last. So since 13th November till now, I've been doing, I was doing it 7 days a week, now it's like 5 days a week. So, I'm proud of myself that I had a thought and I'm doing it, and it's really helping. So, yeah. No, I have breakfast and lunch, but then 16-hour fast. Yeah. So mostly it's between, last thing I eat is between 4 and 5 till in the morning 8 or 9. Yeah. But it is adding, to the discipline, the self-discipline. Like physical discipline helps the mental discipline. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just giving an example. I mean, it's not easy for any of us. And of course you get tempted. But when you conquer that, you just feel good. And so keep it up. Try to keep it up. Yeah. So don't wait for the perfect condition. Okay. Okay, so focus on what you can control. So this is what I was saying, right? Like, what can you control? Is what's here inside of you. And what's outside of you, you can't control, right? So this is what I would get you to do, is maybe just draw on your thing, or on your phone or whatever. Just write a few things of what is in your control. I mean, it's obvious, right? Your thoughts, your feelings, your attitude, all this is in your control. And then what's not in your control? So tell me what's not in your control. Others' opinions, situations, sometimes the results,
making others act.
Making others act. Sorry? Someone here? Time. You can't control time. Actually, this is another really interesting thing here in the BK, like our relationship with time. Some people can have the same 12 hours, but they feel they have a lot of time. And others feel they have less than 12 hours. But again, it's how you use time, isn't it? Anything else you not in control of? You said results, outcomes. Expecting others to behave how you want. That's a big one. And what do we say? At least. At least they should say this. At least they should do this. Right? At least my husband should get me flowers. Right? Why at least? Kam se kam, Kam se kam.
Because they do it before.
Because they did it before. They did it before they married, but then they got you, so now no need, no?
Valentine's Day is a big day before marriage.
Yeah.
That's a belief system.
Not getting affected when somebody's hurt because you are protecting your peace.
Not getting hurt when others are hurt, because then you're protecting yourself, right?
Some actions, like some actions, protecting my peace, but others get scared of
It's not in my control, it's the weather.
Yeah, okay, 1 minute. So back to that. Okay, so somebody does something, and okay, let's say somebody does something and they're trying to make me get angry or lose my peace, and I don't. So am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing? By keeping my peace, am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing? Sure?
But if, for example, somebody invites you to somewhere, like say like if maybe like a friend of you wants to go somewhere out and you're so really scared. You've told her multiple times, still she's not able to understand it. And then you leave a space, but still she's getting affected out of that as well.
Hmm.
So that's a challenging, but then what to do?
So you went or you didn't go?
I went for a longer time, then I started realizing it's affecting my work, then I changed my room with her.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Sometimes you can't please someone all the time. I mean, you tried to do your best, but then, yeah. So there's something in conflict management which is agree to disagree. You agree that you both can't see eye to eye, or, yeah, you don't understand each other. At least something like that, right?
There's another thing not in our control is the future, what future holds.
Exactly.
Healthy life. I am living a healthy life.
Yeah.
What future has, I don't know.
Exactly. We can't control the future. I might be living a healthy life, but I can't. It's true, there are many people. There was a lady in Seattle who was only eating healthy food, okay? Organic, healthy, the best. And then she had an car accident going from Mount Abu to Ahmedabad. So what's your fate? I mean, you could be eating all the best food, but if your karma is to die in that way, yeah. Anyway, you get the idea, right? So focus on what you can control. That's your duty, your responsibility. Forget the rest. Yeah, building strong habits, right? Who wakes up early? How early? 5, 5:30, 6. Anybody wakes up 4:30? Anybody wakes up 4? Sometimes. Anybody wakes up 3:30? Few, okay. 3:30, okay. So yeah, you know about this, right? Amrit Vela or Brahma Muhurat. And they say the ions in the air are best at that time, in the early morning. So, yeah, all faith traditions talk about waking up early to catch the best part of the day, right? And again, all these things that we do in Bharat are there for our well-being. Like looking at the sun, giving water to the sun. All this is, like when you look at the sun for 10 minutes, it activates your, what is it called? No, something about cells. There's a word, E, begins with E. Anyway, it activates your cells. So just, looking at the sun for 10 minutes. So we're doing that as a ritual anyway, right? I mean, I don't do it every day, but that's what's in our Sanskriti, that's what we should be doing. So anyway, it's a good habit to wake up early. You get a lot, packed in the day. And what about those of you who wake up late? Who wakes up at 9 o'clock? 8 o'clock? Sometimes 7 o'clock? Okay, so those who wake up a bit later, wake up a little earlier. Because that's the time for you. Because people always complain, I don't have time for me. But that's your time. Nobody's going to ask you to do anything at 5, 6, 7 in the morning. And even if you want to call someone, are you going to call them at that time? You'll only be waking them up, right? So that's your time, okay? To journal, to have meditation, to have a walk, to do some physical exercises. Write your kind of, attitude of gratitude exercise, right? And then also this thing of The strong habit is creating good karma. So as I mentioned before, really the people who give are happier than the people who take. And we always say give and take. We don't say take and give. Right? So first we have to give. So we have to give the seed to the earth before it can give us the fruit. So we have to do the good deed first. Right? Give. So find a moment to give. Do some good karma. Really, it will make you feel good. Good karma meaning selfless karma. Selfless action. I do it, but I don't want anything in return. I know I'm going to get. The theory is there, the philosophy is there, but I'm not doing it because I want something. Yeah? Then you have polluted that seed. Then what happens? We eat the fruit, but then it's kacha. No taste. But when something comes in its own time, in its ripe time, then it is sweet. So that's what we're waiting for. Things to come in their own time. Okay? Not that you like help an old lady cross the road and then you say, oh, I hope she puts me in her will. Right? Not like that. Not want immediate result and immediate fruit. That's not good karma. Oh, there's the picture, yeah. Habits are like emotional savings account, yeah. Yeah, so surround yourself with good support. So can you list 3 people that you can lean on emotionally, mentally, or spiritually? Yeah, you don't need to tell me, but find your few people that you feel will love you no matter what, that will guide you in the right direction, that are not in competition with you, that are not jealous of you, that really mean well for you. These are the people you want, right? In your orbit, in your atmosphere. So yeah, it says, right? No one is truly self-made. Tough people know asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. Practice self-compassion and self-talk. So look at him. He's all bandaged up and he says, I feel great. Yeah. This is repeat, sorry. Okay, so, yeah, speak to yourself like you would speak to a close friend. Actually, being tough also means being soft. Right? Like we always say, okay, what's the difference between a walnut and an apricot? Exactly. So one is tough from the outside, the other is soft from the outside, but tough on the inside. So do you want to be a walnut or do you want to be an apricot? Well, yeah, you decide. What do you want to be? Know yourself. You can be tough from the outside, but then soft from the inside. Does that work for you? Nothing is right or wrong. You check. What is it that you want to be? Okay? So anyway, speak to yourself, right? Self-talk. So there's anyway a conversation going on in our mind all the time. We are giving ourselves a commentary all the time. Why this? Why not that? I wonder if, I imagine that. There's always something going on. We are not blank. So why not make that a positive commentary? Talk positively, talk nicely to yourself. So, these are some examples. I'm doing the best I can. It's okay to feel this. I'm still strong. Anyway, lots of self-talk expressions you can also get from the internet if you can't make it yourself. And then soul consciousness, right? I mean, this is our, you can say, bread and butter in the Brahma Kumaris. Really, this idea, it's the first lesson and the last lesson. I am a soul. I'm telling you, this practice will save you from many, many things. When you really feel and realize that I am a soul, I'm a powerful soul. Like, for example, when my parents passed away, right? One after the other. I mean, one after the other means not immediately, but because I know I was practicing soul consciousness, it didn't affect me that much because I know the soul moved on. And my parents were also BKs, and my mom was involved in seva a lot. So I know that she went with a good account. The soul moved on. So we were happy that she's not going to be in this old body and suffering and struggling, and that she's going to be somewhere else where she's going to be loved. But it's soul consciousness that, gives us the power. It makes us feel immortal. So again, they say in the Gita, right? That no fire can burn you, no sword can cut you, no water can drown you. It's this idea that I am immortal. But I have to be practicing that. It's again this thing of mantra. If you keep chanting the mantra, you become it. So I am a soul, I am a soul, I'm a soul. Then what kind of soul? I'm a powerful soul, I'm a kind soul, I'm a sweet soul, I'm a benevolent soul, I'm a merciful soul, I'm a compassionate soul. Right? Give it a virtue. And then what are you doing? You're radiating that virtue, that light. I'm pure and clean, right? Nothing impure in my heart. Well-wishing for everyone, sending good wishes, love and light. And then I'm abundant, but abundant in what? Abundant in virtue. So as I said earlier, the one who has time is rich. Right? In fact, in this day and age, the rich people should have a lot of time because they have money to buy help. Right? Assistants and maids and drivers. So they should have more time, but they don't. So they are poor of time. So if you have time, aren't you richer than them? Right? And if you've made the choice to live a simple life, you know that story of the fisherman, right? No? Fisherman sitting, fishing? Okay. So there's a fisherman, he's sitting there fishing. So some elderly guy comes along and he says, "You're young, why are you sitting here fishing?" He said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" He said, "Well, yeah, you know, right? You know the story." Yeah. And so the story is that he's done all this. He's made the money, he set up the company, he's rich, and now he can come back and fish. Because he's done all that. But he comes back to the same spot after all that. So abundant in virtue, abundant in virtue means because I have the virtues, I'm rich. I have time, I have good health, and what is wealth? Wealth is also help and cooperation from others. Either you have money and pay people to do it, or like the Brahma Kumaris, you say, "Okay, come and help." Imagine if the Brahma Kumaris paid salaries to every one of us. That would be a big expense, right? But that expense is cut because every one of us is volunteering. Do you see? So that's how we have money, and that's how we're able to build these places, because everybody's saving their money and putting it to these things where everyone can benefit. So, you don't need money, you just need good virtue to attract good help. Right? So it's help in kind, not necessarily help in cash. And I love this line, I repeat it many times to myself. Everything that I need is right here inside of me. Right? So which I? The soul. Everything that I, the soul, needs is right here inside of me. Really, just keep remembering that. There's nothing I need to look for outside. If I want respect, I've got it here. If I want love, I've got it here. Right? Have such a big heart and feel it, that I am that. Okay. So tough times don't last, but tough people do, right? And this is my blog if you want to visit. As I said, there's a conflict resolution manual there. And that's the end of the presentation. So, should we end with some meditation, or? Sister, sorry, I don't know your name. Yeah? Okay. So let's end with a little meditation and then the rest of the proceedings. Okay? So sit comfortably. Sorry, did anyone have any other questions? Because I felt you were asking in between, so. Can we have the white light? Anybody else has questions? Any other questions you want to ask or any other comment? Yes. I think let's give them the mic because I'm running out of fuel. Yeah.
Ma'am, during the session, you mentioned that the feelings come before the thoughts. So I want to understand from where these feelings come in our mind.
You mean as opposed to the thought? Yeah. So, yeah. So when I say feel, it's like, when I say think, it's more about the logic mind. The logic mind kicks in later of what is right, what is wrong. So yes, feeling is still a thought, but you're not thinking logically in that moment. Right? So I gave you the example of walking into a room and you feel something immediately. Then later the logic says, oh, but why was I feeling that? Maybe I was nervous. Well, they were doing this. And then you start justifying. So feeling is still a thought, but it's, let's say, how should we say, spontaneous thought. The logic mind reasons that thought and says, you were right to feel that way, you were not right to feel that way, it's okay, Aruna. It consoles the mind then. But feeling is something you feel instantaneously. Let's say even like two people meeting, right? So when you see somebody like suddenly or out of place, what's the feeling? It's hi, right? You don't say, oh, let me wait and see, like, is she going to be happy to meet me or not? Or should I ask her if I should hug her or not? I mean, some of these feelings are just spontaneous, right? They come from like deep in our heart. Yeah, subconscious or, yeah. We don't think, we just act, no? Do you get me?
Yes, yes.
Another example could be like saving somebody. Right? So somebody's in the water, you don't think, what time shall I go in and fetch them? I mean, you just feel the compassion, you just feel the mercy, and you just jump in and try and save. So that's not the logic. The logic mind would say, no, don't. Why are you risking your life? Let them die. Right? But in that moment, you feel mercy, compassion, whatever, kindness, and you just do. Are you getting the idea? Between feeling and the logic mind? Samajra?
Yeah, when we get angry.
One second, take the mic.
When we get the feeling of angriness or sadness.
Yeah, that's emotion.
Yeah.
That's emotion, not feeling.
Okay, so many people will say that you have to learn controlling these feelings.
Yeah.
Then we think about it, how to control it.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, negative are mostly emotions because they're not supposed to be there. But they're also emerging because that's the habit we've created. Right? These vices are habits we've created over time and we think they work. So we think anger works. If I shout, I scream, I get what I want. But we now know that only works temporarily. It doesn't work long term. You can't be somewhere and always have people around you and keep getting angry. They'll want to leave you. They won't want to be around you. So anger doesn't work in the long term. Maybe in that moment you shouted, you got the job done, but they'll run. So these are more emotions, okay? They come and go, come and go. But feeling like peace and love and kindness, we want to be in that state for a long time. We want to stay in that state. In fact, we want every action to emerge from that state. Yeah? Of kindness, of love, etc. ठीक है? Anybody else here?
So in company, let's talk about, I'm just giving you a example. It's not the real, but yeah, for example, there are some awards that company, give to employees, and then a lot of people are, wanted to get it. They will not express it, but behind their mind, all are preparing for it, and that's how it should be. I completely agree with it. But what happens is, let's say you join a company, and then a senior or some friend of you really help you to level up you, and then you bypass them at times. But then let's say you get that award and that this guy doesn't get it or this girl doesn't get it. And then the other person then kind of start, having the other side of it, like getting jealous or maybe something and saying something and triggering you at times. And then you feel like bad about it, like what should be the action about it? Because you joined, you asked for help, he gave it, and that's okay, that's how it should be. But in the longer run, when you bypass him or her, and then suddenly his way of behaving or his or her way of behaving towards you getting changed,
So
which is
what's-
affecting your peace.
So what's the lesson?
But that's not a favor, that's a help, right?
Yeah, favor, help, it's same thing. Now what kind of help do you mean? Like,
Obviously, like
it's advice, no?
it's teaching. For example, text take that you are struggling with, and she comes and she helps you. Okay, let's do this way, let's do that way, and then you learn it, and then you outgrew. You got a better project, you got a better support system. People
Yeah.
are appreciating you more. But then this person now comes and he feels like, oh, okay.
Yeah, see, look, there's a lot of this that goes on where I am so concerned about what others feel. What did we learn? Like, we cannot manage other people's feelings. This is a big subject all over the world. And we spend half our life trying to please other people. And because of that, we hold ourselves back. At the same time, I want to say that we should be humble, we should be kind, we should be loving, so they don't get this feeling of being jealous of us. Do you see?
Inform sacrifice in front of everybody. Just inform her role in getting this contribution, getting this.
Yes, speak in the mic. No, ye bhai ko do na, ye bhai ko do.
So that way,
Just say
the
it
other
again.
person also will
No,
be
say it again from the beginning. Yeah.
okay. So just share whatever. If you are feeling bad because you are humble, so you just present before everybody, informing that this person also has contributed to whatever.
But that still
award I
won't be
got.
enough because they're jealous and that's their thing and they have to work that out.
I don't think anybody will be jealous. So if they get recognition, and that is as good as getting the award itself.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just about recognition, but I think it's about how we are. So if we are kind and humble and not arrogant, and it's our attitude, it triggers people. So we have to, even though we're climbing the corporate ladder, we have to stay humble. And really, people will not have such thoughts about us. Okay, one last question. I think this brother had the question. Where's the mic? Yeah, sorry, he had his hand up before. Yeah.
Thanks, sister, for the insightful session. A lot of great virtues that we discuss right now, I believe it requires continuous and consistent practice towards excelling that. I wanted to understand from your journey, because you would have also taken baby steps from start to reach till this point. How did you deal with initial inertias or impediments that came on the way? I would assume it would not be a sudden jump or a switch, but eventually what were your ways to handle the initial periods of going past and excelling this path?
Okay, so really everything I've shared with you is stuff that I'm doing. I'm not just lecturing to you. I'm not just putting it into a nice PowerPoint. But I'm doing this inner work myself. I'm still journaling. I'm still managing my emotions. I'm still doing the attitude of gratitude journal. I mean, you have to keep doing it for yourself. So there have been many challenges. There are places where people didn't want me, and I just happened to be there. This thing of maybe jealousy. I wanted to open a center somewhere. Somebody didn't want me to open a center there. I mean, many things. Living alone. I was alone in Turkey, Istanbul, living by myself. I'd never lived alone. I was always in big family at home, in London, BK family, in Vancouver. But then I came to Istanbul. I'm all on my own. And there's 3 students. They come in the morning and they leave. And rest of the day, I'm alone. And I was really, I think I was almost going to get depressed. But somehow, I was talking to Dadi every day on the phone for 2 minutes. She would... I had a lot of help from the seniors, I guess. But all this has helped, the churning of the knowledge, reminding yourself of the knowledge, practicing. And I used to take myself for a walk, but I wouldn't just walk. I was churning the knowledge while I was walking. So constant application of this knowledge, really trying to keep your mind in the right frame of mind, because only you can master your mind. And anybody and anything can take over at any time. And this is the problem with thinking. If you get into this negative kind of spiral thinking, it's very hard to come out of it. So I understood that Aruna, it's you, and you've been sent here with a purpose. Honor that. Try to keep yourself strong. And it was just constant, all these positive affirmations, really, that kept me going. But at the end, it does help, because you realize it's just a mind game. So you learn a lot about yourself, and you learn what works, what doesn't work. And that's why I'm saying just practice. Keep practicing. Keep applying the virtue and see. And this thing of, kindness. You won't believe, when I was in Istanbul, really, if I ask somebody kindly, nicely, where is this place? They walk me to the place. Few blocks, they come with me and they show you. Another person, I said, which bus goes to, they put me on the bus and they paid my ticket. Such kindness, that the flower ladies, so really kindness always pays off. So when you practice these things, you realize what works, what doesn't work. So when you are feeling a bit tense, you say, no, Aruna, just stay calm. Everything's going to be okay. Just be sweet. Just be polite. You just keep reminding yourself. That's a short answer. Okay, we have to stop now. Okay, Bhaiya, last question. No, you have to speak in the mic.
Both for everyone. However, situations will come for facing the tough only. So what is a karma siddhanta or anything?
So we hope best for everyone, but उसमें भी तो कुछ सीखने का है ना. Like, see, don't take, everything is a learning, everything is a stepping stone. Like, for example, again, let's say in Istanbul, so there was a lady, and she's well off, her and her husband, they live on the Bosphorus. Nice big house on the Bosphorus, and they have a daughter. At that time she was 24 years old, but she had the mind of a 6-7 year old. Okay, so not mentally developed. And this lady helped us a lot in establishing our association. And she'd always tell me that I'm so glad I have this daughter, because she teaches me so many things. So her attitude towards this daughter was so positive, even though, she's having to pay more attention and, she has help, but still, it's not easy managing a child like that. So you can have a certain baggage of karma, but then it's how you deal with it. If you say, this person has come to teach me, rather than hate it, reject it, deny it, then you will not learn and you will not grow. So you have to shift your attitude and say, really, it's all there for my benefit. It's all there to help me. And then you deal with it. Okay? We have to stop here, brother. We have to. It's already 3 questions now.
You said our actions, our efforts and attitude are within our own control. Well, actions and efforts are definitely and visibly within our control, but attitude, I feel, is not within our control. Because many times we say that the person has a negative attitude, he has to change his attitude. But I myself do not know whether my attitude is positive or negative. If I have a negative attitude, I do not really know I have a negative attitude.
Well,
This
you
is
do.
my simple-
No, I think you do, because your response to life will be like that, right? Like if you have positive approach to things, then you know that you have a positive attitude. But if you are like in denial, or you always assume the worst, then I think that is a negative attitude.
Self-talk will tell.
Self-talk what?
Will tell whether we have a positive or
Sister saying self-talk will reveal whether we have a negative or positive attitude. And attitude is what? Attitude is built on a number of thoughts. So the more negative thoughts you have, you develop a negative attitude. The more positive thoughts you have, the more positive attitude. So it's there. The thoughts will reveal. Okay? So let's have a moment now. Let's have a little meditation and then announcements or anything. So yeah, just sit comfortably. Maybe we can have a Supreme Soul picture. So again, I go back to my original state of being at peace. And now in these few moments, I'd like you to just go back the last couple of hours and pick one thing that you will put into your life. That is the seed, and now in this meditation, we are planting that seed. One thing to implement. And every day with the water of attention, you will water this seed. If I want to be strong, I need to create strong thoughts. Pure, peaceful, positive, powerful, and purposeful thoughts. And just like we're sitting in front of this picture, just feel God's rays of love falling on you. Like the sun, just sit in front of the sun and absorb the rays of light. that in itself is healing. Nurturing. Om Shanti.